People are homeless today is because every time they print this here, inflation goes up on assets and inflation goes up on expenses. Like the cost of eggs are going through the roof right now. So you go to a restaurant, I don't know how people survive today. So when I see all these millions of homeless people, it breaks my heart. They work hard, but here it is. This is poor dad here. You work really, really hard. What's your first line of expense? Taxes. So the reason I don't work for money is because I'll pay taxes. You want to pay taxes? Up to you. But taxes come from Marxism. Karl Marx said a graduated income tax is essential for the spread of communism. So the people that pay taxes here are communists, and the capitalists don't pay this tax. If you work hard here, you just pay taxes, 50% right off the top. The person who's been told to go to school, get a job, and work hard, you're going to pay taxes. Why? Because you work for money. So the question, well, how does a person not work for money and pay no taxes? So when I was a young man, I was taught to focus here on assets. So that's why when I left the Marine Corps in 1974, my rich dad said I had to learn how to sell and I had to learn real estate because real estate is based on debt. So I can get really quickly because I'm using debt to get rich to buy assets. Like Kenny McElroy and I, we buy a apartment house, the asset, and that provides cash flow, but we don't pay tax. The income comes like this. If you get a job, your first line of expense is tax. That's why I don't work hard for money. But of course, if you want to me it's stupid. But most smart people work hard for money, like doctors and lawyers. As I said earlier, doctors and lawyers pay the highest taxes. Good, that's the way it should be. But the capitalists down here make a lot of money and pay little taxes. So that's why you want to play cash flow, so you get your mind shifted down here. But if you go to school, you're shifted up here. And this is the key to the whole thing. It's called a statement of cash flow. Cash flow are the two most important words in business. The reason most people are poor is more cash is flowing out than flowing in. If you focus here, you focus on cash coming in and staying. People go to school to become employees or doctors and lawyers and accountants. Not too smart. If you want to get rich, you should learn how to be a big business owner and an investor. This is Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. And inside here, I put my own deals together. I am the owner of the gold mine. I take the gold mine public. I own my real estate. I own it. I don't have any paper assets. A lot of people become self-employed so they can make more money. A lot of them do, but you pay the highest taxes. It depends on what type of income you're getting. This income and this income comes from you working for money. It's stupid, stupid, stupid. It's hard to get rich working for money because of taxes. And the trouble is, oh, I think I'll start investing, but they have no education. Education these guys make all the time. Oh, but I'm making so much money. I said, yeah, you're paying more tax. It's fucking stupid. Again, this is fake. In 1971, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. This became toilet paper. But this is what E's and S's work for. The rich don't work for this stuff. So what we do is we create assets, and I'd rather have cash flow, but not this here. It's a very big difference. There's one more big problem happening today. It's that every time they print money, the rich get richer. The reason the rich get richer is when you print real assets here, the asset goes up in value. So when you print money, like I own oil wells, I don't own oil stocks. When you print money, oil wells go up in value. But when oil wells go up in value, so does the cost of gasoline for these guys here. And then the saying we have at Rich Dad, it's sales equals income. And so I meet so many people who say, well, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. I can't afford to buy real estate. I can't afford to buy Bitcoin. I can't afford to buy. Well, the reason you can't afford to buy something is because you can't sell. And sales equals income. You know, so many PhD types, academic types, they think they're above the capitalist process. They think their PhD entitles them to the better life. But if you go for your PhD, you really don't have the skill sets to be in the capitalist world. You know, like when my father, you know, bless his heart, he ran for lieutenant governor against his boss, the governor, as a Republican in the People's Republic of Hawaii. You know, Hawaii's 100% communist. And so he ran as a Republican and he lost. And the governor said to him, you'll never work in this state again. So the power the governor had over my dad was his job. And the hardest thing for a school teacher, Patrick, is you, as a capitalist, you really don't need a school teacher. You need a salesman. And my father just couldn't sell He wouldn't, he just kept holding up his PhD. I have a PhD, but he couldn't sell.
Wow.
And you know what I mean? And I saw that. And that's when my rich dad, who had no education at all, said, you better learn how to sell pretty quickly. So I was at your birthday party, and I saw your team, both men and women, what they have is confidence. And that confidence, ability to sell, to communicate and all that, that'll carry them into the future. And what's going to happen is as the economy worsens and these cuts keep stealing our freedoms, they're going to have the income via which you take advantage of real estate, of whatever they Bitcoin, whatever they want to invest in. But if you can't sell, remember, sales equals income.
They hypnotize people into being employees who will work hard, pay taxes, save money, get out of debt, and invest in the stock market. Until you question those sayings, those words, you'll be a poor person.